this might be hard to follow, but someone just pointed it out to me, and it blew my mind because it never occurred to me. And it is one of those, like, you gotta like really break it down to fully, like, okay, so if your phone is connected to the Bluetooth and you call me, the Bluetooth is going to play what you hear through your phone. So if you call me and I don't answer, the Bluetooth is going to play my voicemail. If you call me and I answer, I'm going to be talking to you through the Bluetooth. So my phone was never connected to the Bluetooth because we all heard my voicemail. So someone else in that room, their phone was connected to the Bluetooth and was calling my phone. What the fuck? My mind is blown. So no, it wasn't even my phone that was connected, and I damn sure wasn't calling myself.
So before we continue and we start to read, obviously what Rob had to say. From what I remember from the scene, Rob had his phone in his hand when the phone was being called. So why not answer his phone at the time? Like, make it make sense. That's what I remember. But to be honest with you, some people in his life just love to freaking waffle. Let's read what, he had to say in this little caption here. People often tell me not to pay attention to the negativity, and I don't need to explain myself or to stop being defensive. But it's nearly impossible to not address these constant false accusations when I'm the only person who can/will speak on my behalf. Unfortunately, I'm left to do it on my social media platforms, seeing as most of what I say on these matters elsewhere seem to disappear. If I don't speak up, I'm left to accept the BS as it frames who I am as a person to literally the world. At least if I address the truth, it's out there somewhere. I don't have a second phone, never have tried to role play with Sophie otherwise, just in the last 2 episodes. You see, this is the thing. This is somebody that has decided to be on 90 Day Fiancé twice. And he knows how the show goes. He knows how characters can be portrayed. And he's the one that's choosing to be a part of this show, despite the fact that he's going to be portrayed in a way that may not necessarily favor him. So really and truly, the moment you decide that is the moment that you might as well say, you know what, F it, I'm not even going to waste my time going on social media to try and justify myself, to try and explain myself, because the narrative will always be the narrative. You know what? I think it would be slightly different if this was something that he had done personally off the show and people were commenting. But this is something that has happened on the show. It's happened on an episode. And really and truly, why not just let the show marinate for a few episodes? And if people continue to have the same opinion because the storyline hasn't favored you, then fair enough, speak up. But to really speak up about something that happened like last week that, to be honest, I forgot about, makes me wonder, is this guy bored in life? But anyway, let's check out what he has to say in this one. How do you let her have OnlyFans and go to clubs alone? He responds by saying, isn't that something? Oh, while we are married, but I thought I was this extremely controlling and insecure man with low self-esteem. And don't forget that somehow there is still this ongoing narrative that I'm this terrible cheating person because I interacted with some randoms online nearly 3 years ago before Sophie's visa got accepted. How could I be such an animal? Unforgivable. And it's interesting that it says that because literally in the last episode I did say that there's an inconsistent storyline of how Sophie is claiming that Rob all of a sudden has also continued online cheating after their marriage, when clearly on the first season, on their first season, it was made abundantly clear that he did online cheating before she came to the States on a permanent basis. And he said that he wasn't going to do it anymore once she moved there. And I said the only way he could have done it again would have been in the 3 months that she was away. But clearly, based on what he's saying there, that is confirming what I said before, that literally what is being shown on the show now is literally nothing but production, because the online cheating did not happen after they got married, but yet Sophie behaved as if it's happened after they got married. And also on top of that, apparently it wasn't even that many people. It was only like about 1 or 2 people, but hey, it is what it is. Nonetheless though, let's check out what is going on right here. Just wish you would have called her out like she did to you. We see her not being real. He responds by saying, well, when I marry someone, I look forward to being a teammate, looking out for each other and not throwing each other under the bus for others. Us against the world type ish. I would never sit around talking trash and twisting truths to sound valid and cool to my friends who here believes that I choose to not have intimacy with my wife for an extended period of time. Laughing emojis. Stop. I was the one getting rejected, and that's not something I want to admit. She moved out and I was left next to zero chances to rekindle things. It's funny because he talks about, when it comes to him and his partner, he sees it as them against the world. So how long did it take him to realize that it was never going to be him and Sophie against the world, and it was always just going to be him versus Sophie? Because literally the whole first season, we saw these two as literally him versus Sophie and Claire for the most part. And then moving on to this season, it went from Rob versus Claire and Sophie to then Rob versus Claire and Kaylin and Kai. But of course, she then decided to get rid of her friend Kai, so obviously that doesn't matter anymore. Then it leaves just a friend itself in particular. So really and truly, how he was seeing things being in that format, that blows my mind when it's never been him and Sophie against anybody. It's always been them two against each other, which is why I guess they are in the situation that we are witnessing right now. But hey, that's another video. Now, with that being said, though, I hope she is standing up for you as well. At least she can do as a wife. He responds by saying, well, I don't know. Have you guys seen much of that from her? Because that would require her to admit that she exaggerates the absolute hell out of things. So I doubt it. And even though I believe there's a whole level of truth behind what he's saying about her exaggerating a whole lot of this and that, because I generally do feel like Sophie's mindset on certain things is very much, I wouldn't say clouded, but very much questionable. But either way, though, he's the one that still decided to marry her as well as her deciding to marry him. And at the end of the day, these two continue to not really work on anything. Why? Because for the most part, when things go south, what happens? Sophie runs and goes the other direction, and Rob just ends up sitting in his own emotions. But right now, with what has been going on recently with all the freaking madness, Lord knows how their relationship has always been this whole time, because I do question what their relationship has been this whole time. Because to be honest with you, to start a season where straight off the bat he's been called Rob the Knob, that is something that is very concerning. That is something that tells you that, hey, this relationship that they've had this whole time really and truly has been missing a certain level of stability. It's been missing something that says that, hey, this is actually going to work. But at the same time, I can say that for a lot of the couples, because a lot of the couples, sometimes we see them come on the show and we already see them having arguments, having disputes. And then some of them, obviously, we see them not having that. And to be honest with you, the ones that come on red hot, those are the ones that really and truly we should always question straight off the bat. And Rob and Sophie was one of those two people where straight off the bat, they came off like enemies. The moment that they landed, they're already arguing, but before they even got to the apartment, you know what I mean? Before Sophie even flew over to the station, she was already talking about some of the issues that she has with him, And then on top of that, obviously Claire was having her say too. The whole relationship has been a calamity from the freaking get-go, and to be honest with you, the fact that it's gone on for so long blows my mind. But to be honest, the fact that they still end up getting married, it was just absolutely berserk. But nonetheless, though, in this one here, he talks about, I think it's stereotypical of society to blame the man. Some of us see your side too. He responds by saying, thank you, and you said it. But the powers that be who the people who want to see win and who they want to see lose. I mean, listen, yada yada, yada yada, you're the person that still decides to stay with her, and yada yada, yada yada, you're the person that still comes on social media to kind of defend her, but then also kind of throw under the bus. It's kind of a sticky one, because he starts off by saying, I'm not here to throw under the bus, but then of course it continues with other parts kind of showing that, hey, he's not looking to take any blame, and he's definitely looking to make it abundantly clear that there is still blame towards Sophie. So I don't think Rob even knows what the hell he's even talking about, what he's even doing. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna throw under the bus because we're a team, but then proceeds to legit defend himself and pretty much directing the blame towards her by saying that she's the one that exaggerates this and that, and also, she also needs to basically take accountability as well. Honestly, if there's a brain cell between these two, can somebody let me know what it is? Because, yeah, I still can't find it. And I don't think we're ever going to find it with these two. But let's continue, though. Any other accusations I need to clarify? She said she would never be with another woman last season. Now it's just never dated a woman. There we go. There you go. And this is the thing. Sophie has a lot of inconsistency in the things that she says, but Rob still decides to still be with her anyway, and still decides to tolerate the BS that she brings to his freaking door. But hey, this is why I have no sympathy for the man. But also at the same time, though, let's just say Rob has been, abusive. We've seen that he's definitely been verbally abusive towards her, and we don't know how many times he's been like that to her. But the same question still stands: why does he continue to be with somebody that, in his reactions, seems to gaslight him? You see what I'm saying? But nonetheless, though, in this one, it's something particular here. The question is, what about the role playing she said you were making her do, dress up and shit before having intimacy? He says, Sophie said I didn't want to have intimacy unless we role played. The truth is, she said that she was too shy to make the first move, so I suggested that we could dress up. That way, when I would get home from work, I would see that she was in the mood because she'd be wearing something sexy or playful. I always thought it would be fun to try. She never tried it, so we never did that. I don't know how she came up with this idea that I wouldn't have intimacy unless she dressed up. That's just not true. It was only a suggestion to help her stage fright. The fact that she hadn't been intimate in 6 months was 1000% her choice, not mine. And listen, I'm not really buying the fact that she was shy, to be honest with you. 24 years of age. She's not a virgin. She's obviously been around, guys here, there, and everywhere. And I don't mean that she's been sleeping around. What I mean is she's obviously encountered other men. Yeah, I'm not buying this whole thing about being shy. And also on top of that, why would she marry him if she still felt uncomfortable to be naked around him, or still felt uncomfortable to be intimate with him? You know what I mean? Generally speaking, people marry someone that they're comfortable to be themselves. Well, at least that's what you're supposed to do anyway. So really and truly, I'm not really buying this whole thing about her being shy. I call absolute BS on this one, because come on, let's make it make sense. The only time people can, be shy before marriage is usually when it's an arranged marriage, not people that have generally met and then actually became something. So yeah, I ain't buying that. I think that's absolutely nothing but utter freaking BS. You let me know your thoughts on that one is in particular. You know what I mean? I just think that there's something else going on, of course, in the relationship. And if anything, what is going on is that they both got to points where, or at least she's got to a point where she's like, you know what, I'm just not into you. And that's why I ran away for 3 months. And to be fair, even in the scene when we saw them in the therapy session and they talk about the whole kissing thing and, getting close together and whatnot, to be honest, Sophie looked like she was cringed by Rob the whole freaking time. She actually looked like, oh God, I can't believe I have to do this. I just have to act for the cameras right now. Oh God, this man repulsed me. Ugh, just don't know name anymore. Ugh. That's the vibes that I got anyway when I saw her energy. So yeah, I think he's talking absolute nonsense. But anyway, on top of that as well, Rob continues with clarifying his accusations. Can you admit that you did anything wrong during this relationship, or do you really think it was all Sophie's fault? He says, I've admitted time and time again my faults. I talked to girls online when Sophie and I were long distance. I let stress make me irritable and mean at times, and letting others get under my skin in ways that push me towards anger. Well, clearly you need freaking therapy. Stop making excuses. But anyway, talking about how other people have basically triggered you to have anger issues. No, go get therapy. Learn some self-control and just be a freaking man. I'm hearing none of this nonsense. I've addressed my issues and even addressed them in therapy. Well, allegedly in therapy, because really and truly, I have seen no signs of somebody that has been in therapy, in my opinion. But anyway, I never claimed Sophie and I's relationship problems were all her fault. But at this point in the show, all I'm doing is trying to fix the relationship, yet I keep falling into these wild accusations. Your question shows you that you don't listen to understand. You pick one side and ride it till the wheels fall off. All I've attempted to do today is clarify my misconception and exaggerations. Oh my days, goodness gracious me. Honestly, this man should learn to just not say anything. Because I don't really feel like he's actually making anything better. I don't really feel like he's even clearing up. My apologies. I don't even feel like as if he's cleaning up anything anyway, to be honest with you. honestly, I just feel like he saw people saying this, and that. He got in his feelings, as he always does, decided to get a little bit angry and thought, you know what, F it, let me go on social media, ask people questions, basically get people to ask me questions, and I'll clarify every single thing that I need to clarify. So therefore, people know that I'm not this douchebag that we see on TV, because, well, when it comes to the production team, they're produced in a way that makes me look like as if I'm the only person that is a villain, and I'm the only person that actually causes problems. When in reality, there are definitely problems that Sophie causes as well. But of course, he started by telling us that he's never going to throw under the bus because they're a team, but then proceeds the whole freaking time to talk about, hey, about how pretty much he is not this, he is not that, and some of these things have happened because of Sophie's character. Fair enough, he's not necessarily thrown under the bus like that, but he's still definitely saying that the blame also goes her way too. Now, respectfully, listen, it is very important to also say that, listen, I am accountable for my own actions, but Sophie can also be accountable too. Respectfully, yes, that is something that you should definitely do, but to be honest with you, if his relationship with Sophie is really like what he says it is, then coming to social media to give us justifications of why you behave the way you behave isn't going to save your marriage. You have a conversation with your wife about what's actually been going on. That's what's going to save your marriage. So to be honest with you, he should be dedicating his energy to trying to sort things out with Sophie, if that's even a possibility. And if it's not a possibility, well, then why are you talking about it? And if it's not a possibility because maybe you have broken up, then why are you still trying to justify your image? Maybe Rob is trying to make himself look like this person, so therefore women continue to still send him messages, so therefore he can still continue his online freaking cheating. Because to be honest, sometimes people don't like their character to be discredited online because they're afraid that he may not, they're afraid that he may make other people not want to come to them. So maybe he's just trying to save his character right now. He's saying, hey ladies, I'm not that bad, so you can still slide in my DMs and you can still send me those online cheating images. You never really know with some people's intentions sometimes, right? But nonetheless though, based on every single answer that he gave, for me personally, it was nothing but just bullcrap. But that's just my humble opinion. Nonetheless though, you let me know exactly what you're thinking down below and we can most certainly talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.